In today's video, we're going to talk about the biggest problems with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. If you guys did not know, I just recently finished playing the new Pokemon game on my Twitch, and I've actually composed a list of all the pros and cons about the game. And I'm not going to lie, the game feels really good. Like, it's very satisfying, but it lacks some things that could make the game even 100 times better. And that's what we're going to go over. First of all, let's go over the pros. So the first pro I want to talk about is actually the gameplay in itself. Now, there are some problems with it being the frame drop or laggy at times, but usually if you're just a Pokemon fan, you're playing on your Twitch and you're just enjoying it, you're most likely going to enjoy the action. And I can definitely say for a fact that the gameplay overall, just like being able to explore the area, find Pokemon out in the wild is honestly amazing. Originally, I thought like playing Pokemon and having Pokemon coming from the grass is best, but this game just kind of makes it feel like, yeah, it's like 100 times better. You would be surprised on how many Pokemon can actually spawn in and how often I found a shiny. I literally found like 2 shinies in a row just because the spawn rates are so large, or they're just so condensed sometimes in some areas that really gives you better chances for finding things that you want. Now let's talk about the farming in this game. Now, if you guys do not know, they give you the EXP share right out of the gate, right? Which is amazing, but they give you a new feature on top of that you can actually take advantage of to grind your Pokemon. Now, if you click the R button, it will send your Pokemon out, and of course that Pokemon will target other Pokemon in the area, and when they hit the Pokemon, they will grind levels for you, and it'll be automatic, and that way you don't have to manually battle everything. Now, that does mean that you don't give you the max amount of XP. However, it's still way faster than just normally doing the battle process. So you do this to grind up your levels, and I can definitely say this is very useful because at the beginning of the game, like, if you do it, you're pretty much gonna get broken. But once you get to Elite 4, I noticed that you have to re-grind again, and even to get past that. And by the time you get to the end of the game, your levels are gonna be above level 80 in order to beat the game. I literally got stuck on one part because the person you versed at the end of the game, not gonna say too much spoilers, was so strong that I literally had new type of Pokemon. They had level 66. I was over here with level 59. It's like blasted. That's getting blurred. But that's the point though. The new farming system is good. That way you can actually progress faster through the game, but also slowing down at times that you still have to grind at some moments. Now, let's go over the plot. The plot of this game is honestly pretty good. The story and stuff's really nice. However, there are some main big cons that I want to go over, and let's go over the cons about this game now. So, first con I want to talk with you guys is actually the music. The music in this game never really stood out, whether it be the battles or the actual Team Star battles or even the legendary Pokemon battles. None of the music kind of felt like, oh, damn, I should get excited for this. This is intense, like this is hype. I think the only music that was kind of exciting was when you were versing like one of the Team Star members on their actual like car. That was like the only moment I felt like, hey, this music's pretty good. The first half of it was pretty dull. The second half of it's pretty good. And that's practically about it. None of the other music, even the champion music, didn't feel that good. Like, yeah, I don't know. The whole point of that, though, the music was supposed to be like one of those things like you feel like really good about it if you verse somebody. But honestly, this game just didn't have it. Even the late game mythical Pokemon, not mythical, I think they're like legendaries, I'm not entirely sure. Like the Chinese ones, their music was not that good. I'll roast them on that here. But yeah, no, the music in this game was kind of slacking. Now, the other thing that was kind of slacking was the legendary Pokemon. I'm going to say, spoiler warning ahead of time. I'm going to spoil some of the plot. So, yeah, just fair warning. I'll give you a few seconds to click on the video. Okay, cool. Now, the thing with the legendary Pokemon is, it's based off the cycle Pokemon in the game, which is like a normal version, but it's supposed to be like either an ancient version or a future version of the Pokemon. So the whole plot of the Pokemon is like, hey, yeah, your friend's mom, Lily, went to the future or past, and with that, they caused an anomaly. Pokemon started leaking out from that timeline, which caused it to actually, like, be able to bring Pokemon between those worlds. Of course, like, something went terribly wrong. Mom's dead for some reason. I'm not entirely sure what happened to her. We just know something happened, and now that's why the anomaly's in the world. So, yeah, you verse the legendary Pokemon, but it isn't a legendary, because literally what it is, it's literally just a cycle Pokemon, either from the past or future, depending on the game you get. And there's 2 of them. There's literally 2 of them. So look, you have yours, and then the actual like Professor AI thing has its own. And in all reality, you gotta think about this. This is not even a legendary. The box art Pokemon is not a legendary Pokemon at all. It's merely just a Pokemon that's from a different timeline. There's probably hundreds of them from that timeline, but they only brought one over, so they're counting it as a legendary, which I think is honestly a complete joke in all fairness. I just want to quickly glance over that. The newer legendaries, though, that are actually like late game, you got to get by actually opening up 8 seals. If you open up these 8 seals, then a seal will break in a certain part of the map. And of course, you'll get access to a legendary Pokemon. For example, either the Rune of Sword, or was it Rune of Sword, something like that? Like a snow leopard. It's a pretty cool Pokemon, not like crazy, but it is one of those Pokemon like, hey, this is actually cool compared to like the legendary you get like late game. It's kind of weird. I don't like how they did it. They kind of made it like, hey, you use this to ride most of the game, but you can switch it in the part of your team, but you can't use those amounts. So literally, you're not going to probably use it most of the times around. So I like the idea they're going with that. However, not being able to ride it while also battling with it isn't particularly the best thing. Now, for the story, there are 3 different storylines. Now, people were saying that these storylines were separate. When I played the game, I found out, hey, you have to beat Team Star, you have to become champion, like champion rank is not entirely champion, and then on top of that, you actually have to, what's the other one? Beat the Titans, all the Titans. Once you do all 3 of these storylines, you'll then get access to going into the actual like versus legendary of the main game, like the box art legend, which we know it's not a legend because it's just from a different timeline. There's probably hundreds of there, but yeah, you have to do all 3 of those storylines to get access to the final one, which I kind of think it's pretty dumb. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like what they could have done is way better for the game. It would even drag out the game longer. They feel like a much more expedition. They could have made the Team Star thing like, hey, you gotta versus these 4 commanders, the versus secret boss, and of course the secret boss wasn't anyone special. Even my chat kind of like read me like, is this kind of a joke? They could have made the secret boss somebody super cool, and then you verse them with like sick music and stuff like that, and that would have been its own storyline. And then what they could have done for the champion storyline, it's like, hey, you became champion rank, but we're gonna have a super awesome tournament against all the gym leaders, all the actual champions, all the people you versed, and that way you can actually like see if you're really the champion, because they only give you the rank. They don't give you actually the title as champion, just a rank for it. And then for the final timeline, what they could have done with the Cliff Titans is literally done the Cliff Titan timeline with story and made it its own separate thing. That way you get access to legendary, so you could pick either one of them to go to, either one of the 3 storylines to do whatever you want. Like you can like, become the strongest, you can go with the mythic of this game or legend, or you can even, well, not legend, but yeah, whatever, or you can become like or you can verse the boss and get some like cool fights. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I feel like the way they did the 3 stories is kind of a joke. It's not even 3 separate stories. Like the whole point is supposed to be like that, but in reality it's more like 3 separate quest stories in order to be complete one big story, which I don't particularly like that. I feel like there's a lot more potential to be had with that, but unfortunately they just didn't tap into it. Now the final thing about this game I want to go over is honestly what we talked about here, the gameplay, frame drops, lag, and some other things. Now none of these things were technically too bad from the game, like they actually take away from the game experience. I never really felt like, hey, my game's gonna crash. I only had my game crash once, but it was like when there was a bajillion Pokemon spawning at once. It was just like a really weird thing. I also had my game running like 6 hours, so it only made sense it would crash then. So yeah, that was the only time I actually had my game crash, but everything else about the game was kind of fine. Besides like when you were far away from Pokemon, it'll be like slow pacing, frame dropping there. I didn't think it honestly mattered. There were some bugs here and there that were like, oh my god, this is weird, right? But it wasn't like anything like, hey, it's gonna crash my game. It's more like, hey, this just adds to the experience and makes kind of a funny clip. I've actually got a lot of funny clips. One where my Lucario literally fell clip. Like I found this like area where there's like 7 floors, right? But of course it's open world, so literally what happens like you're thinking fall 100 floors down, which is gonna be like the bottom of the map. And I can definitely tell you, I was in a spot where it was in the middle. Lucario fell all the way down. It was quite funny. I made a clip on that when it popped off. But yeah, never took away from the experience. I definitely think it kind of added on to it, but hopefully they do patch some of them because some of them are a bit like bad, really bad. Now, if I was gonna rate Pokemon Scarlet and Violet 1 through 10, I'd honestly rate it probably a 7.6. I definitely don't want to put a 10 or an 8. I feel like this game had the potential to be even better, but it didn't have, like, I don't know. I feel like if we got feedback before, like from like maybe some people in the community for Pokemon, they'd be like, damn, this could have been way better. Like there's so much they could have done that made this game 100 times better, and also fixing the bugs on top of it too made the experience much more amazing. So I don't know, is it worth buying Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? I'd say yes, but only if you have a Switch and if you're wanting to actually buy the game and then just savor it. Like if you want to get satisfied about playing a good Pokemon game, do it. Now, if you don't really want to actually buy a game that's laggy, that's all you, man. Up to you. I didn't really hinder this experience at all from me. However, if you feel like there's something you're gonna be like slacking, like you're gonna be satisfied but not entirely, then yeah, I don't know. For me, I'd say I was worth buying it. I felt satisfied, but I still feel like with the game's potential it could have had, I'm still not satisfied, like, especially with Legendary. The box art Legendary was a joke. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy my review here of the new Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, then make sure to do me a favor and smash the like button and get subscribed. And I'll see you guys in my video. GMAN out.